Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good afternoon, all the sisters and brothers of the introduction of macroeconomics of International Program for Islamic Economics and Finance. I do wish that all of you are in the best of health and iman right now. And by the way, we are going to continue the discussion on the 9 meeting as well as 10 meeting. And those meetings will be covering about money and inflations. So if you could attend right now offline in the class, I will show you how the money and inflation happens by looking at the physical monies. Monies. But now we just go through the slide. I wish that you can see, you have seen my slide. So I just go through fastly, quickly, and if you have some questions and queries and discussions, please don't hesitate to interrupt myself so we can continue to have discussions. So here we start with the classical theory of inflations, dear sisters and brothers. That the inflations here is shown to be fluctuating over the years. So it means that inflation is not stable at all. Yeah, look like here in the US, you can see the inflation was up and down over the last 30 years. And inflation here basically defined as the percentage of increase in the average level of prices. So for example, right now, Zian and friends, if you can purchase goods, for example, $1, you can get 2 candies right now. Yeah, but tomorrow you have $1, but you only can get maybe 1 candy, not 2 candies. So it means that the price of your money was decreasing because you are able to only purchase the good and services lower or maybe not much as before. Yeah. So in the inflation here, price is the basis that needs to be controlled, the price. Yeah. So the price here is defined in terms of the money. Yeah, the money that you have in the pocket right now is the money supply and must be controlled. Yeah. So here money is the very important basis on how to measure the prices of the goods and services in the economy. And if you look at the money here, we have 3 main functions of money. Yeah, medium of exchange, store of value, and unit of account. Yeah. So medium of exchange here is you can exchange your money with your other goods and services. So you have goods and services because your money can be exchanged through that goods and services. Yeah. And the second one is store of value. It means that the money that you have, it has the value inside. So it means that it has purchasing power. For example, you have $1 right now, you can purchase 2 candies. So it means that the 2 candies here basically is the store of value from the money that you handing right now. And the third one, unit of account. So you can understand right now how many goods that you can purchase from one particular dollars, for example. So all in all, money here actually has the main function as the medium of exchange. And the type of money here, we have 2 types, and right now we have 3 types. Fiat money and commodity money. Fiat money is the money that you have right now. I will show you the example of the fiat money across countries. Yeah. So here, can you see this money, sisters and brothers? Here, how much, Zian, this money?
$1.
$1. So, Zian,
Yes.
by the way, have you ever handed this $1 in your hand?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever handing this $1 in your hand or in your wallet?
My wallet, no, but just how it's I ever.
Okay. Okay, here is $1. Yeah, everybody can see, yeah, $1. So I will show you another example. Wait for a while. Okay, so I have here in my hand. Here, Zian, can you see how much the numerical numbers in the money? How much, Zian?
5, sir.
Huh?
Number, sir. Number.
Yeah, how much?
Oh. I not see, sir. I can't.
You cannot see. Okay, sorry. I will just change my background. Sorry. Sorry, why I cannot change my background? Wait.
Or maybe stop the screen share.
Yes, brother. Okay, now. Oh. Why blur? Blur.
Blur.
Okay, wait. Wait a while. Okay, wait. Okay. Oh. Okay, let me just not using any background. Okay. Yeah, it will be better. How much, Abdi Hakim, this money? Can you see now?
500,000, sir.
500,000. You see, 500,000 in one piece of paper. So can you guess? Sisters and brothers, which countries that has this kind of money, please? Which country? Anybody?
Philippines.
No.
Vietnam.
Wrong. Huh?
Vietnam, sir.
Vietnam, correct. So this money, yeah, I got around 5 years ago when I went to the Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. So I was quite shocked when I saw that in a piece of paper, it has the money 500,000 dong. Yeah, and this money is considered to be the second largest and highest numbers of money around the world. Okay, let I show you another example of money. Yeah, I put here first my money. Okay, I show you another tremendous monies. Don't shock, but just mentions how much this money, brother Zian?
I don't know, sir.
How much this money?
$10 billion.
Huh?
$10 billion. 10 billion.
Okay, Arya, are you there, Arya? How many zeros this money has? How many zeros this money has?
$10 trillion, sir.
Yeah, how many zeros? How many zero?
Oh. Oh, yes.
How many?
13,
How many
sir.
zeros? Yes.
13.
Yes, you are shocked when see this money. So this money is 10 billions, 10 trillions, $10 trillion. So can you guess which country that has this kind of money?
Zimbabwe, sir.
Zimbabwe, sir.
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe. Yes. So I got this money when I was going to the markets in the Bahrain. Yeah, Bahrain around 10 years ago. Yeah. So I got this money. You cannot imagine, sisters and brothers, to what extent the economy is going down when the money of this country becomes very cheaper. Yeah, so it's signed by the numbers around 13. So you cannot imagine if somebody wanted to purchase just small things and how they handing the money at the moment. So this money basically was issued in 2004. At the moment, Zimbabwe is having tremendous inflation rate, maybe more than 1,000% at the moment. So at the moment, because of the percentage of inflation is quite bad, it impacted to the currency that they have. Yeah, here 10 trillions. Last one. I want to show you another example of money. Here, can you guess how much this money?
One dinar, sir.
1 dinar. Which country that this money has?
White, sir.
Why?
Yes, quite. So you see, sisters and brothers, if you double check the numbers of the monies against our currency or rupiah, so this money is considered to be the most expensive currency in the world right now. So if you handing this 1 dinars quite, so it is equal with 50,000 rupiah. This one, yeah. So this one is 1,000, 50,000 rupiah or around $4. So $4 here equal to this one, yeah. But this one, if you handing this money $10 trillion, you only can has around $15, 15. Yeah. So the 13 zeros was only get around 12 to $15 US. But here $1 quite you can get more than $4. So why it happens? This is the question that you are going to answer through this course. Yeah. Go back to the this one. So the fiat money here, the just now that I show you, it is the fiat money. Has no intrinsic values. Example, the paper currency we used. And the second one is commodity money, has intrinsic value, example gold coins, cigarettes, and others. And the third one, we know has three kind of money. Can anybody guess what the third kind of money that we have right now? What the third kind of money that we have right now? Zian and friends, can you guess? Fiat money, commodity money, and the last one? What? Digital money. Yeah, digital money. So right now, digital money is being used and largely accepted around the world. Yeah. Okay, here, which is of the discussion questions. Which of these are money? E, B, C, D, E. Which one? Let's see here. All of these are monies, actually. Currency, checks, deposit, credit cards, certificate of deposit are monies. Why? Because this money can be used to exchange with goods and services. Yeah. And here, the money supply, the money here is related with the money supply. So you can see from the example that I mentioned just now that the money supply here will influence the numbers of money availability in the economy. And we have here monetary policy in order to control the money supply. So if you see just now, Vietnam, Zimbabwe, they have very huge amount of zeros. It is maybe because of the failure of the monetary policy in controlling money supply in the economy. So here the institutions, central banks. In the case of Indonesia, we have Bank Indonesia as the central banks. And here is the money supply. Yeah, so you have currency, yeah, M1, M2, M3. Yeah, the detail will be discussed in your another course. Yeah, not now. Here is the theory of money. Yeah, the theory. Country, they have different amount of money. Indonesia, for example, we have 100,000 rupiahs, but in Singapore, the highest numbers only 100. But Indonesia is 1,000, 100,000. Why difference? Because of the concept of velocity. Yeah, velocity is to what extent the money is circulated. Yeah, circulated among citizens or among sectors in the economy. Yeah. So here, for example, in 2001, you have 500 billions, money supply 100, the average dollars is used in 5 transactions here. So velocity is 5. How 5? Here the theory, the calculations. The velocity here is value of all transactions over money supply. So it means that the money that economy has been circulated for 5 times. Yeah, 5 times. And here is the equations. M of a phi equal to P of a Y. Yeah. So here is the equations. Yeah, equations. And equations so far, sister and brothers.
How about Bitcoin, sir?
Yeah, Bitcoin here is the digital money, by the way. So the digital money basically produced by the system, by electronic system. So the issue is how to control the Bitcoins now. Banks, no longer people around us. but it is created through the machine learning, electronic machine learning, if I may say. Yeah. So this concept is still debatable, by the way, Zian. And in the case of Indonesia, the central bank prohibits the concept of Bitcoin. It means that in the economy, but the Bitcoins is the asset for investment, not for the currency exchange, not for the medium of exchange. Yeah. So the Bitcoin here fulfill the function of the money as the saving of account. Yeah. So it is used for saving asset that you have, but not for the medium of exchange, because the quantity is quite low. Yeah. And then right now the people that handling this Bitcoin is not that much. Zian. Okay,
Okay,
Zian.
sir.
Meanwhile, others, I continue first here. The money demands. Yeah. So money demand here basically is the how much money that you could hand in your wallet or be used to be transacted in the economy. Yeah. So here we have the real money balance. It means that the purchasing power of the money supply. So to what extent the money is used to purchase goods or services in the economy. So here's the simple demand function. We have M of P. K here, how much money people wish to hold for each dollar of income. The K here, yeah. Demand. Quantity equation here, connection K, 1 over fee. So when the people hold a lot of money relative to their incomes, money changes hand infrequently or fee is low. It means that if you have a lot of money, yeah, but the money that you have is not being used to purchase goods and services, just save in the banks or is saved in the wallet. So it means that the money changes here is infrequent or velocity is low and the way around. Yeah. Here is the velocity that is assumed to be constant and exogenous. Yeah, velocity here is constant. So M of a phi equal to P over E over Y. M here is money supply. Phi is the velocity. P is price. Y is income. Yeah. So here is how the price level is determined. Here, how is price as the value of inflation is determined. With phi constant, the money supply determines nominal GDP. So the money supply here is determined through P and Y. The money supply because of price and Y. Real GDP is determined by the economic supplies of K and L and the production functions. So Y here is the GDP, yeah, that determined by K and L, capital and labor. So the price here is nominal GDP. The price here is M over Y. Yeah. So the price here is nominal GDP over real GDP. In this case is M over Y. Yeah. So here, the growth of product equal to sum of the growth rates. Yeah. So if you change into growth, delta M over M, delta Y, phi, delta P, delta Y. So here is the money growth, money supply growth. Here is the velocity growth. Here is inflations. Delta P over P is inflations. And delta Y to Y is economic growth. Yeah. So the quantity theory of money assume phi is constant. So here is 0. So and on this case, if you see here, delta P of a P, the inflation increase is because of the increase of economic growth here. So here. So the lambda here P, yeah, P here is the inflation rate. The result of the preceding slide was here delta M, delta P plus delta Y. Solve this result. Delta Y is delta M minus delta Y. Yeah. So the inflation actually here, the inflation is normal economic growth requires a certain amount of money supply to facilitate the growth in the transactions. Money growth here in excess of this amount lead to inflation. So if you have the inflation here, sisters and brothers, it is because of the growth of the money supply minus the growth of economic. If I may simplify, delta M and M here is monetary sector here, and here is the real sector. So if the monetary sectors move or grow higher compared to the real sectors, Y here, inflation will happen. So the way around, if the money supply here is less than the Y growth, so the inflation will not take place or deflation will happen. So if you want to make no inflation happens at all, no inflation, you have to ensure that delta M here equal to the delta Y. It means the growth of the money supply or the growth of the monetary sectors is equal to the growth of the real sectors. I hope you understand my point. So how to avoid the inflations? Yeah. So here is the another theories. Yeah. Other explanation you can read by your own. So here is the data, inflation rate and money supply. Yeah, you can see here the countries' patterns. Yeah. And here is the inflation and also the growth rate of the money. You see that inflation rate is here, the inflation rate, and here inflation rate, the orange and the blue one, and here is the money growth. Yeah. So if the money growth here increase, the inflation will increase. Yeah, and the way around. So if the money supply decrease, the inflation is going down. Yeah. Okay, here, signorage. Could you please help me to read, Brother Zian? Signorage, please. Could you read?
Okay. To spend more without raising taxes or selling bonds, the government can print money. The revenue raised from printing money is called revenue, pronounced senior. The inflation tax printing money to raise revenue because inflation. Inflation is like a tax on people who hold money. Done, sir.
So what is signorage actually, Zian?
Yes.
What is signorage?
Uh, I don't know,
What
sir.
is signorage? Signorage means the more without raising tax or selling bond, the government can print money. So the benefit from the printed money conducted by the government, this the knowledge. The revenue here, yeah, bracket, under bracket. The revenue raised from printing money is called signorage. Sin your age, yeah, sin your age. So signorage here is the inflation tax, because the more government printing money, the more inflation would be. Yeah, so if inflation is going on or increasing, it means that your purchasing power of parity of your money is going down. So your ability to get goods and services become lesser and lesser. Therefore, it is set as the inflation tax. Yeah. So here is the another relationship between inflation and interest rate. So usually when inflation increased, the interest rate also increased. Yeah. And here, according to the Fiscal effects. So Fiscal effect here says about the saving as equal to the investment. Yeah. So here is the interest rate. So you have the actual inflation rate and you have expected inflation rate. Expected means the future inflations. Yeah. So if you have here inflation minus expected inflations, so it means that ex ante real interest rate. What people expect at the time when they buy a bond or take out a loan here. It means that the interest rate here is higher compared to the inflation expectations. So you are encouraged to take more loans. Yeah. Uh, Here, or you buy a bonds, yeah, because you expect a higher interest rate. And here, the way around is if the interest rate here minus inflations, yeah, exposed, yeah, not expected, but the real inflations. So what people actually end up earning on their bond or paying on their loan. So it means that the people try to pay back the loan that they have, yeah, through the expose. So here is the details. I think you don't need to read details about this because it will be discussed maybe later on. You just know about the money's demand function here, M over P, D equal to L, function of I interest rate, L is the national income or the income. Yeah, whereby the I and Y here has positive relationship with the M and opposite relationship with P, with price. Yeah. So here is the equations. M over P, L open bracket R plus expected inflations and Y. So it means that if you want to increase, if interest rate increase, so the money supply also increase. Yeah. If expected inflation increase, the money supply will increase. If the income increase, the money supply also increased. Yeah. So it seems to be positive relationship. And they have opposite the relationship with the price. Kebalikan. Yeah. And here is another explanation about expected inflations. Yeah. So you expect the inflations higher, yeah, in the future. So what the impact here? So it will increase the interest rate. If interest rate increase, so money demand will decrease. So nobody wants to hold money. So in the midst of higher inflations, you will be better to hold maybe asset rather than money. For example, perhaps derivative, bonds, stocks, gold, yeah, or commodity monies, commodity goods. So because of the price higher to make M of P fail to re-establish equilibriums. Yeah. As by your own. And here is the summary. Okay, any other question before I move to the next slide, please? Any discussions? Questions?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please, if you have any questions.
Yeah, if we back to the first, why different countries has different currency value?
Yeah,
Could you share with
the
us, sir?
answer, yes, the answer is because of every single country, they have their own different structure of economy. I mean that the structure here means the growth of the money is not that equal with the growth of goods or services. Yeah. So the closer the growth, I mean that if you compare between the growth of money and the growth of goods, they are closer. Yeah. So it will make the currency becomes stronger. Yeah. But the way around, if you have the money supply is go beyond or faster compared to the good growth, yeah, so it will make the currency is weaker and more weaker even. So my answer, Abdi Hakim, is simple because of every single country they have different gaps between the monetary sectors and the real sectors. The more gap created, yeah, it means that the monetary sectors is go beyond the real sectors, so the currency will be more severely affected or weaker, and the way around. So the better is you should have the equilibrium between the growth of money and the growth of goods. Therefore, we have fiscal policy, then we have monetary policy, then to closer these two sectors so that there will be equilibrium in the single dot. That the answer of the Hakim.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, any other question, please? Any questions? Okay, I continue the next slide. Just a few minutes before we end. You can open your week 10. So just now we discussed the slide of the week 9, and now we move to the week 10. Okay, week 10. The second part of the money and inflations. The inflation part 2. In this chapter, you will learn classical assumptions, price are flexible and markets clear. Yeah. So here, the classical views. A changes in the price level is merely a change in the unit of measurement. So it means that the price is only move up and down because of the money supply only. Yeah, it is based on the classical views. So the social cost of inflation fall into two categories. It will be cost when inflation is expected, yeah, and additional cost will be created when inflation is different than the people has expected. So now you are comparing right now between the real inflation and expected inflations. So when the expected inflation here is go beyond the current inflations, so it will create another cost for the people. For example, you right now, you right now has inflation around 1%, yeah, per month, for example. And the expected inflation for next year is 5%, for example. So it means that your purchasing power parity right now has decreased for 4%. 5% next year minus 1% right now. So you have 4% additional cost because your money has been diminished in terms of the purchasing power. Yeah. So it will create a cost then. In terms of the cost, so you have here sole leather cost and the menu cost. Okay, could you please read, help me to read, Sister Debbie? Please, Sister Debbie. Could you please read this slide, Sister Debbie? Okay, maybe Rizka. Rizka, are you there? Rizka Sania, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Could you please read this slide shown in the screen?
The cost of expected inflation. The first one is labor cost. The cost and inconveniences of reducing money balances to avoid the inflation tax. Real money balances. Remember, in long run, inflation doesn't affect real income or real spending. So, same monthly spending but lower average money holdings means more frequent trips to the bank to withdraw smaller amount of cash. The cost of expected
Yeah.
inflation. Two, menu cost. The cost of changing prices. Example, print new menus and print and mail new catalogs. The higher is inflation, the more frequently firms must change their price and incur this cost. Sir.
Okay. So from this screen, you can see now the difference between the sole leather cost and menu cost. So the sole leather cost here means that the inflation does not affect real income or real spending. Yeah, but it will impact the here lower average money holding. So you little bit quite worry to hold more money in your wallet. Yeah. So the sole letter cost here, try to withdraw small amount of cash. So you don't want and quite avoid handing money in the form of cash. It is the message under the sole letter cost. And the menu cost here, the higher is inflation, the more frequently firm must change their prices and incur this cost. So menu cost here means that the more inflation, the firm must change the strategy. Yeah, because at these conditions, the cost of labor, yeah, the cost of the production processes increases, so that the people that connected with this inflations must modify and little bit change the patterns of the price. Yeah, so it is called menu cost. Yeah. The next one is the cost of expected inflation, relative price distortions. So in the midst of inflations, the price was disrupted. Yeah. So the firm facing menu cost change price infrequently. Example, suppose a firm issues new catalog each January. As the general price level rises throughout the year, the firm relative price will fall. Yeah, because of the price keep increasing, so the old price become obsolete, and then the firm relative price will fall. And different firms change their prices at different time, leading to relative price distortion. So the price keeps fluctuating, which cause macroeconomic efficiencies in the allocation of resources. So because of the price of always changing, so the people that affected by this inflation, it's very difficult to map in terms of the labor, in terms of the production process. Yeah, so the allocation of resources become inefficient or is not that good. Yeah. And the fourth one is general inconvenience. So inflation makes it harder to compare nominal values from different time periods because the cost is quite changing over time. So you difficult to compare with whether current prices is cheaper or more expensive compared to the previous price because the price keep changing. Yeah. And the cause of aspect is unfair tax treatments. Yeah, so some taxes are not adjusted to account for the inflation, such as the capital gains tax. So somehow, in the midst of inflation, the money that you purchase as a tax also increasing. So here somehow, in terms of the tax treatment, it is not adjusted with the inflation rate. So you keep paying higher values, higher amounts, even though the real price is not that much. Yeah. Here is additional cost of inflation, arbitrary redistribution of purchasing power, and then increased uncertainty. For sure, if the inflation is not stable, so we don't know to what extent our money is prevail or can be used to exchange goods and services, because the value is up and down. Like the money that I show you in the early on is about Zimbabwe dollars. Yeah. So arbitrary distribution of wealth become more likely. It's very difficult to pay wages, to pay salaries, yeah, because of the inflation here. This creates higher uncertainty, which makes risk averse people worse off. So of course, because of inflation high, the price of goods become expensive. Nobody able to purchase that goods, and then it will make people try to avert, yeah, the risk. Avert mean try to run away from the risk. They don't want to face the risk. Yeah. However, there's a benefit of inflation. Could you please read, Sister Monica, please read this slide. Sister Monica, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, could you please read?
One benefit of inflation, nominal wages are rarely reduced even when the equilibrium real wage falls. Inflation allows the real wage to reach equilibrium levels without nominal wage cuts. Therefore, moderate inflation improves the functioning of labor markets.
Yeah, you see that the inflation here will create imbalances between the growth of money and the growth of goods. So the inflation, because inflation happens, the price of money become more expensive compared to the price of goods. Yeah. So because of this, somehow the price of good itself becomes higher, and it will give the incentive to the workers, yeah, to produce more and more. So ultimately, their wages becomes higher and better. Yeah. So here is the benefit of inflation. The inflation here lead to the demand function to the people. Okay, that's all for the discussion today about the inflations. Perhaps you have any discussions or you have any questions, please. Okay, no more questions? Okay, if you have no questions, please look at the slides and also watch the video, yeah, as attached in my class. And then please don't forget to record your attendance, yeah. And then we will meet again next week with the same topic about money and inflation as well, part 3, yeah. And please don't forget to prepare for your final exam on the 12 weeks, 2 weeks after this, yeah, 2 weeks after this week, your third test competency. Okay, that's all for a while from me, dear sister and brothers. Thank you very much again for your attendance and your coming. See you next week. Hopefully we can meet again in the class, in the offline class next week, hopefully. I'm waiting forward your presence in the campus for the next week, inshallah. With that, before I end, do you have any questions, information, and others?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you very much again, Zian and others. Stay safe and health. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Thank you,
wabarakatuh.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.